I get an opportunity to talk to a lot of senior technology leaders, and there is something interesting I've observed. There are some leaders who understand that a lot of their decision making is about making the right bets. So think of it as going into a jungle to collect mushroom. You want to collect more of the good to eat mushrooms and less of the poisonous ones. But also at the same time, with the evolution of technology, you can think of it as the jungle is not well lighted, so you can't quite tell. So based on a mix of the visibility, a mix of your own gut feel, your experiences, and the places where good mushrooms go, you go and collect stuff. Sometimes you get poisonous ones, sometimes you get good mushrooms. The job of a leader, particularly in technology, is to try and get less of the bad ones and more of the good mushrooms. They also understand that they can do a best effort, but at the end of the day, it's really not in their control. They will make mistakes. Their teams will make mistakes. The vendors they've chosen will not live up to what they say, and things like that. The challenge in enterprise architecture, the challenge in technologies like Salesforce, is to know and understand this reality. You will make mistakes, you will make poor decisions, but the idea of I'm only going to do things that I extremely well know and not take chances on the other, that's not the job of a leader. The job of a leader is to balance the risk with the reward and find an optimal mix. So go to places where you may get better, bigger, more mushrooms easily. Some of them may be bad, some of them may be poisonous, and you want to validate that before you eat them. But in your collection, you want to be broader. The reason I'm mentioning this is because so many times companies make decisions that would seem unintelligent or dumb to anybody who's looking from outside in. But for someone who's in the middle of decision making, that seems like the most logical decision because, hey, I know this vendor, I know this technology, I have a bias to write Apex, I have a bias for flows, I have a bias for a particular vendor, I have a bias for a particular way of doing things. And as a leader, you need to constantly humble yourself and look at possibilities. AI is the new flavor of the month. Before that, we were talking about DevOps. Before that, we were talking about, microservices based architecture. Before that, we talked about service oriented architecture, customer masters, integration patterns, MuleSofts on the world, right? Like there is always something new that's on the horizon. And as a leader, you have to make choices that align with the longer term goal of the company. And you got to make sure that people above you, below you understand that you will make mistakes. It's part of being a leader to make mistakes, to be okay with it, but it's also part of the leadership to make calculated mistakes. Curious to know what you think. Thank you so much.